Welcome back to the Top Notch Documentaries YouTube channel. This is part 2. Let's pick up where we left off, going over the arrest of Israel Keys and the search of his vehicle that followed shortly thereafter. At 11 AM, a Texas Ranger and an FBI agent were notified by Texas Highway Patrol that a white Ford Focus was observed, parked at the Quality Inn and Suites in Lufkin, Texas. They did a walk-by visual inspection of the car and saw a rental sticker on it. Various clothing items were visible, some of these being girls' or women's pink clothing. Surveillance of the vehicle was maintained. At 11:30 AM on March 13th, a white male exited room 215 of the motel and placed some items into the trunk of a white Ford Focus. He then left the scene in the Ford Focus. The FBI had already obtained a guest list of all occupants the previous night, and this detailed who had rented Room 215. Room 215 was being rented by someone called Elijah Keys, and I'm unsure if this is Keys' brother or a fake name on his part. At 11:45, a traffic stop of the Ford Focus was conducted, in part based on the suspicion that it was the same vehicle that the FBI had put a be on lookout for heading east. Beginning in Arizona, travelling through New Mexico and now in Texas, making frequent ATM withdrawals, connecting it to a kidnapping out of Alaska. The reason given for the stop was that the driver of the vehicle was travelling in excess of the posted speed limit. The FBI arrived at the scene and were given an Alaskan driver's license belonging to Israel Keys. Keys told the FBI agent on scene the story of how he arrived from Alaska and rented the car in Las Vegas the week prior. Keys was unable to describe the route he had taken from Nevada to Texas and said he was in Texas so that he could attend his sister's wedding in Wells, Texas. Keys told the agent he probably paid for fuel using cash on the drive over the course of a week. A pair of large white tennis shoes were partially pushed underneath the driver's seat and they were visible to the agent. Keys became increasingly agitated and uncooperative during questioning and refused a search of his wallet and vehicle. Keys became unusually nervous and began to sweat profusely in spite of the cool weather. Keys was allowed to call his brother, who had Keys' daughter in a separate car, and notify him of the situation. He was then placed under arrest. The car was searched on March 17th. And I'll now read the contents that were found. Here is the list of contents found in the Ford Focus rental car. Some of the items are just items that you take when you travel, so I'll only include them if they're relevant to Keys' crimes. Grey/white size 12 men's starter brand tennis shoes, seen in the Easel bank robbery and to withdraw ransom money. Samantha Koenig's cell phone. US map with Highway 80 from Utah to Wyoming highlighted. Interstate 5 north to south in California highlighted. Redacted contents. Avis rental maps of Southwest states. Winchester amber shooting glasses with case, seen in Keys' arrest. Walmart receipt dated March 3rd at 4:01 AM in Lufkin, Texas. Purchased beer and wine. 3 rolls of US currency in a heat-sealed bag. 143 $1 bills, 65 $5 bills, and 55 $10 bills. This was probably from the February 16th bank robbery. $1,018 in total. It had a strong musty odour and was slightly damp. This was likely because it was buried for some weeks. A heat-sealed bag containing $359, probably more Azel bank robbery cash or ransom money, with 17 $20 bills, a $10 bill, a $5 bill, and 4 $1 bills. A heat-sealed money bag containing a Walmart money card expiring in 2014, purchased to launder the bank robbery funds, with the heat-sealed bags mentioned being used to store the money underground. Keys can be seen wearing these next items in CCTV footage as he's travelling across the southwestern US, withdrawing ransom money. Grey hooded starter sweatshirt, grey and black Demarini brand gloves, Levi jeans and Old Navy jeans. Here are some of the interesting contents from the Ford rental. Green and grey Eagle Creek backpack, Brinkman headlamp. Keys talked about one, might be the same, during the Curry abduction. Keys' passport, More redacted contents. Photo of a black female with numbers written on the back. Combat Zone DVD. Exquisite Productions Ultimate T-Girl Full Service. Transsexuals Volume 2. Brown Ricardo brand duffel bag containing clothing items, a shovel, and back brace / weight belt. A Taurus 22 long rifle 9-shot revolver. Smith & Wesson 40 caliber semi-automatic handgun with two 15-round magazines. A Walmart receipt from February 17th from Jacksonville, Texas, which detailed a purchase of a shovel, lubricant and air spray. A Ziploc bag containing a Radio Shack digital trunk-in handheld scanner with antenna. Black & Decker battery-operated screwdriver. On Keyes' person they would locate Samantha Koenig's debit card, a Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department sporting license from June 8th until June 10th of 2011, Alaska 7-day fishing license, 6 wallet-sized photos of children, a woman and dogs, probably his family, Leatherman wave tool, cold steel folding lock blade knife with black plastic handle, and black Asics model size 12 men's wrestling shoes. A Lenovo laptop, MP3 player and Sony Cybershot digital camera along with a Samsung cell phone were also confiscated. Keyes discussed the camera during the Koenig abduction that he found on the floor, and so this could be that. The Samsung phone had its battery removed, and the phone was wrapped in a paper towel contained in a plastic bag, and it doesn't specify if this was Keyes' phone or Samantha's. I believe Samantha had an iPhone, I could be wrong on that though. Ultimately, the search turned up some useful finds. The discoveries were vital in tying Keyes to the kidnapping of Samantha and getting a full confession, and some of the finds helped tie Keyes into the bank robbery in Texas and the potential involvement in another murder in Texas at the same time. The map showcases likely travel routes through different states and shows preferred routes. These could be useful in figuring out locations where Keyes could have visited and help to better build a recurring pattern of travel pathways. Fortunately, Keyes' apprehension saved many future people from becoming victims. Keyes wasn't going to slow down anytime soon, and he was clearly trying to withdraw as much money as possible. His move to the lower 48 was scheduled in 2012, and it's unclear if he was trying to use the ransom money to fund this move, or if he was just going to put it towards something else. But the story wasn't over yet. Keyes now caught, and investigators would have to question him about the location of Samantha Koenig. Where was she? Keyes had wanted them to believe that she'd been sold as a sex slave in Mexico, but investigators would never buy that as a solid conclusion. They were hopeful for her safe return, but they knew this possibility was slim to none.